And of course, the sounder says, guess what? Stan is back. That's right. I'm Stan Houston. This is Interesting Ideas. And sometimes I can't believe how fortunate I am. Last night when I left the studio, I accidentally forgot to turn all of the power lights off. So when I came in this morning, opened the door, this beautiful glow of the colored lights from all of the studio equipment I have, and I just stood there for a moment and looked at it in the dark, and I said, Stan, you really are fortunate. You love this stuff. You really enjoy it. And you get to do it every day if you want to. And aren't you lucky? You can actually get paid for having fun rather than actually doing hard and laborious work. Yes, I am indeed blessed, and I remember that every day in many ways. Lots of difficulties, lots of challenges, but no, when you all balance it out, indeed, I am blessed. And I'm hoping that is somewhat the case for you. And remember, even if you're going through some tough times, you will get through it. It will be okay. Faith, hope, charity, and love. Practice those things, and things will go better for you. And don't get angry. And don't get fretful, and don't get fearful. Just keep pressing on. Hey, the title of the program is exactly that. One time someone said to me in radio, they said, Stan, remember, your audience is stupid. Well, I don't believe that. But I want to talk about that because that will lead us into a discussion of something that could be very important if you really want to be peculiar in a positive and powerful way. If you want to be peculiar in a powerful and positive way, I just might have some words that might help you. That's the program for today, and it begins right now. Well, first of all, let's pick up on that. By the way, as I said, yes, I can do this even though, quote, I could be or should be retired. Now, perhaps tomorrow I'm going to take a thought just for this. Things are going to be challenging. Maybe one of the best ways to plan for your retirement is to plan that just in case, what if you can't? What if you can't retire? Then what should you do as part of your retirement plan? Well, I have a few suggestions. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow, or maybe we'll wait till the following week. We'll see. I want to make it positive on Friday because it's about Future Day. So we'll see what comes our way. Okay, yes, that's what somebody told me one time. In the business, remember, Stan, there's a good chance your audience is stupid. Well, you know what? He really believed that. And I found out that there's a lot of people who believe that about you and me. I think many of the politicians, either they think I'm stupid or they're stupid. Either one, because some of them do and say some things, and if they think that I believe them and then will follow them, then they're stupid. And if I do believe them or follow them in the way they want, then I am stupid. And as one commentator pointed out, I think her name was Laura Ingraham, actually began one of her books with this simple statement: they think you're stupid. Well, what is true of a lot of people in the elite and leadership centers of our world, that's exactly what they do think. They're the smart ones, and we are the ones who work hard and work with our hands and put in long days and long hours. And we're the stupid ones because we do that, and we don't get paid nearly what they get paid for the little that they do. So we're stupid. No, we're not. Some of us are, but most of us are not. And the fact is, most of them aren't nearly as bright as they think they are. You know that, and I know that. I'm just going to say it out loud. You know why? Because they can't hurt me. I'm too old, and there's nothing they can do to me. So I'll just say it. And I'm going to do this. I want to treat you as truly what you are, which are grown-ups, smart people. And so today, I've done a lot of thinking about the kinds of things that go into the kind of person who is different. One of my mentors said, Stan, I'd like you to be the kind of person who is not only different in degree, but you live different in kind. Most people are different. In the same game, same way, they're just different by degree. I want you to be different in kind. And of course, that's a bit peculiar, because then you certainly aren't like most people, and certainly aren't like everybody. A lot of people are, we know. As Abraham Lincoln said, some of the people you can fool all the time. But what about you and me? Here's what I'm trying to figure out. Is there something I can begin to identify? And I think I have 5 words that express some of my feelings, and they're not quite the words I would like right now, but can you help me? I'm trying to say, what does it take to be different in kind? What do you do? How do you live? Particularly, how do you get up in the morning? And with your permission, let me give you 5 words, or maybe even a phrase, and would you write it down? Because you're smart, and you'll help me think this through, all right? First of all, the people who are very peculiar usually have a very strong sense of principle. They actually know what they believe and what they stand for. They've taken the time to figure that out, and they are, as Stephen Covey said a number of years ago, they're principle-based people. They actually seek to live by certain thoughts and ideas and principles. They have that as a part of their life. Well, that leads to, okay, here we go, practices. There are certain things they do that lead to a lot of peculiar but regular and somewhat unusual practices. Very simple one is I don't read the newspaper or listen to the news in the morning. Never start my day that way. I have one exception. I will look just at the headlines of one publication, simply to make sure, because I am a broadcaster and I speak to the point of the moment. If there is something catastrophic going on or some huge or very important event that took place overnight, I want to know that. But other than that, most of the stuff is not important. Please keep that in mind. Most of the stuff that's on the news is not important. That's one of the principles that guides how I think, and that's why I hopefully don't get too upset, because it's mostly news they make and news they make up and news that will soon pass. As I said, one of my older mentors said, Stan, if it's in the news, it's probably not important. So they have certain practices that they do. Now, then they take it to what I call patterns of thought and ideas. This is where I have a hard time explaining it. But what I've discovered about these people is they kind of move in ways that there's a kind of a pattern to what they do. Now, they do a lot of different things, but you can kind of see then how they do it. that it is guided by a pattern. There's kind of a flow to their life. They stand and walk tall. They don't walk very fast, but they do walk fast in the sense that there's energy in them. You can sense it. There is really a kind of a pattern to how they're living. Somewhat predictable. You know, again, as someone said, you know what? Sometimes they surprise you, but you always know you can trust them. They kind of live that way. There's a pattern to their thinking and their behavior. Think about that. So there we go. I've got principles, practices, and a pattern to how they think and speak and just how they live. I also find that they have a little bit of what I call rhythm. Sometimes there's an expression in the scriptures that says that Jesus lived by the unforced rhythms of grace. He didn't have to force anything, but he just was kind of in the rhythm, in the flow of knowing that he was loved and graced. And there are people like that. They kind of live, you almost sense that there's a little bit of a song in their life, or a song could be written about their life. There's a kind of a rhythm to them. Now again, some of you are having a hard time with this, but just think it through because you're smart. Some of you know that we're talking above the average sixth grader right now. Now, part of the reason some of those people think you're stupid is because just exactly this. In broadcasting, they learn to have to speak, as we are oftentimes said, keep your vocabulary to that could be understood by a sixth grader. And I'm basically okay with that, except that I know that means because I have to honor the medium, that it's a blind person talking to a blind person. And so there's no body language or communication. So you have to keep your words simple and strong. And as my broadcaster teacher one time said, because they made us do this, we had to hours and hours. I thought I was back in high school again. They would give us a bunch of words and a dictionary, and we had to look them all up in the dictionary and then write out the definition. And he said with a smile, he said, Stan, I want you to have a vocabulary of 40,000 words so that the 4,000 you use, you'll use them well. And you know what? He was right. 40,000 words so you can use the 4,000 well. All right, there's a certain rhythm to their life, a certain routine that is actually more than a routine. They have rituals. And I'm just going to let that idea sit on you. I'm not going to share some of the rituals that are in my life because they're very private. But just take that term when you think of a ritual, some important action or something that is unique and different and important, maybe even sacred or holy. People who have rituals in their life on a consistent basis, celebrations in their life. One of the things that was very helpful to me was when I finally, as we made this move, having gone through a great deal of difficulty, I just simply said to Karen, Thursday night, we date. And you know what? we stick by that. Thursday night, the week is almost done. Friday is going to be a little bit busy because a lot of people will be out. So Thursday night, no cooking. We date. It's becoming a ritual. And as a result, what happens is that there is a smoothness, not only to their personality, but to their performance. They're very consistent in their behavior. You can count on them. As I say, that might surprise you. But when they do, it's usually a good surprise. And you can trust them. So there I am, 15 minutes on Turbulence Thursday. Oftentimes it is. I hope it won't be. I look forward to date night. But you're not stupid. The guy who told me that was a liar. He was stupid. But think about that. For those people who have some real positive ways of living that make them a bit peculiar, look for their principles. Watch what they do, their practices. See if you can sense the patterns of thought and action, the things that they consistently have a pattern to how they live and think. See if you can sense the rhythms that are in their life and perhaps some of the rituals that they take very seriously. I'm done. You're smart. Hopefully these thoughts that came to me will be helpful to you. I believe there's interesting ideas. I'll be back. Please reach out to me. First of all, one of the rituals I have is that I do podcasts all the time. I love it. I'm, again, very fortunate that I can do what I do. And I'm very, very fortunate and thankful for you. Whether there's one of you or 10 of you or 20 of you or 100 of you or 1,000 of you, I don't care. I'm not in the numbers game anymore. If I can reach one person and that is helpful to them and useful to them in some way, that makes me a winner. And by the way, even if no one listens to me and no one hears me, I'm still a winner because I got to express myself and what was important to me. And thanks to the miracle of the internet, even if no one heard me today, who knows, they might hear me in 10 years. So, indeed, good fortune comes my way. Please reach out to me because I can help you with perhaps some of your personal marketing. I was talking to a gentleman the other day, and I just simply said, you don't have customers, you have an audience. And he looked back at me and said, audience? I said, yep, you have an audience. What do you say and how do you reach them in some way every day? So, I can help you. Reach out to me at stanhouston@gmail.com, stanhouston@gmail.com. Check us out. The one website I still use is the one for our radio work, witradio.net, witradio.net. Blessings. Blessings on you. The Lord bless you and keep you and make you prosperous in all good things. Bye for now.